Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to the channel. Thank you for watching as usual. We try and keep things a bit informal here, bit polite, and we just generally share views. I don't know if you've subscribed to this channel for years or just in the last couple of days or last few weeks. So you may or may not be aware, at the start of the year we did a sort of vlog called a manifesto, as we did the previous year, which was gonna try and outline what the aims were of the channel for the next 12 months, what sort of videos we're going to do, why, and where we keep to them. Now things gradually develop throughout the year, depending on what time's available and responses to other things going on externally. So how have we done on that manifesto then? So I thought I'd have a look back. It was back in January, if you want to check out that video. So I've isolated some points here which we sort of covered. The first one was to do with PlayStation 4 games. Now don't worry, if you're into retro gaming, this channel will always be retro gaming. Although the PS4 videos might increase, it won't have a detrimental effect on the retro stuff because it's good to see everything. Now I said I was going to start reviewing PlayStation 4 games a bit more on the channel. And you might have seen an increase very recently on the Drive Club, both the normal game and the bikes, and absolutely love that. So they'll continue to go up. Maybe not as quite as much in the last couple of weeks, as that was a little bit silly because I got a bit addicted to that game. But other PlayStation 4 games we've looked at so far are Kickoff Revival, which I need to get back to at some point. So if you're unaware, there is a bit of a retro throwback to that one of Kickoff 2 and Goal on the Commodore Amiga. There's Rocket League, which I want to come back to in a blundering series at some point because that is huge now in terms of esports. There's lots of money with different teams competing all over the world if you're unaware of that. So do maybe a Twitter search on Rocket League and you'll come up to that quite quickly. We looked at Mortal Kombat XL, which is pretty gruesome. We controlled Jason Voorhees for a little bit, but there's other characters there as well, like the Alien, Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Predator. It's an absolutely awesome game, but be warned, it's a little more bloody than Street Fighter 2, or the Street Fighter series, or Tekken, that's for sure. Doom, which I want to go back into at some point. Star Wars Battlefront. The second game will be out quite soon, so I need to go back into there and do a few more videos. And we had a brief look at Need for Speed Rivals, which again is an awesome game, but not quite as good as Drive Club for my money. So yeah, so that first one, PlayStation 4 games getting up more and more. That is slowly going in that direction, but it might die down ever so slightly. Also another point, at the time we did the manifesto video, we was in the middle of doing a revisited series on the ZX Spectrum, and the whole purpose of that was because, hopefully you've seen, if you've been with the channel a long time, my sound is improved fantastically well compared to the first few videos I did. And the first videos I did was of games I knew about the most, and my most popular videos to me, what I held most dear, but the sound was rubbish. So I went back and did them again on the new microphone setup to have another look on them, and I think they did quite well. After that we did a few Amiga games as well back from the beginning and got that covered. So that promise is done. So PS4 games tick, revisited series tick. I also mentioned that I wanted to go back to another one of my favourite games ever on the PlayStation 1, or the PlayStation, which is Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, which is a game I played over and over again, and we certainly did that as well. So a bit of the revisited treatment. We did a couple of videos of that. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 3, one of my favourite games ever. Doesn't look much graphically compared to Drive Club, but I've spent many good years on that, so it's a tick there. So that's a promise in the manifesto, and we did that as well. Now, one thing I haven't been quite as good at as I wanted to be, I wanted to increase the amount of PlayStation games that were going up, cover that sort of era, because before, I think we reviewed about 40 odd games. A lot of those games are ones I haven't bought that have been sent into the channel, and that's the only reason I started reviewing them in the first place. And that was quite good to do. I've downloaded a couple of other ones which I've also reviewed, but it's come to a bit of a standstill trying to fit everything in at the same time. So you only got a certain amount of time available to yourself and space, and you try and pack in as much as you possibly can without having a detrimental effect on the quality, because I don't want to be putting up, although my gameplay isn't particularly brilliant, I don't want to be just putting up rubbish where I'm just seeming bored. You've got to be enthusiastic about the subject matter, or there's no point really. So yeah, I haven't put up too many PlayStation 1 games. We covered Destruction Derby though. It's a brilliant game. Need to get hold of the sequel at some point. The absolutely fantastic Tekken 2. And very recently, due to the vote that we had on the channel, because I like to keep you involved. We started a blundering series called Colin McRae Rally. I'm really struggling on that game. I've had to put it on novice mode, so shame on me. But if I do decent on that, we might go back at some other point and do it on intermediate. But I certainly need the practice. So if you're commenting on that video or watching it, thank you for your support, because likes in particular, comments is what keeps the channel active. And when people that are unaware of the channel look for a video to watch, if they see a video's got lots of likes, or more importantly lots of comments, because they can be falsified likes and views, if they've got lots of comments, see this is an active channel, I want to be a part of it, and I want to be speaking to those people to see what their views are and memories, because then we all benefit there, the whole thing grows. Pinball Thursdays. I've been doing pinball for quite some time, still a few tables to do, although they seem to be majority of them on the PlayStation 4 nowadays. At the time we did the manifesto, we was on the Pinball Arcade Season 5. That has been completed. Purchased Season 6. All these recreations of real-life tables by Farsight Studios, and they're generally quite good. What's annoyed me a little bit about this is I'm still waiting for the last 3 tables, I think, of Season 6 to actually come out, although I've bought the whole season in advance, and it seems to, which happens every now and again, because they spread themselves a bit thin, Farsight Studios, doing lots of different projects on different systems. Been waiting months and months for those last 3 to come out. And a little bit frustratingly, Season 7 has already been released on other platforms like PC and Steam and iOS as well. So PlayStation 4 is getting a bit neglected. Come on, Farsight. But in the meantime, I've been doing Zen Pinball 2, so I hope you've liked having a look at those. We've been doing some of the classic tables, gradually going through. Hopefully by the time we run out of tables, the Pinball Arcade have got themselves back into gear, and we've got those other few tables to review on Season 6. Are you keeping up with me? Okay, please put your comments below what you'd like to see as well. As I say, I try and cater for it, because the more popular the channel can be, the more chance it's being successful, and I don't quit and the whole thing disappears. It's tough going sometimes, but thank you. The PlayStation 3, I said that I wanted to cover Alien Isolation, Tekken Tag 2, and Need for Speed Most Wanted. Yep, we have covered all 3 of those, but time permitted, I'd like to have another look at those again, most particularly Alien Isolation, Tekken Tag 2, and maybe not so much Most Wanted, because there's other driving games out there. Another one I didn't mention, which has come from nominations really that we're doing, which I'm really pleased we're doing this one. It's a series where we're going through, on the PlayStation 3, recreations of Sega Mega Drive games on the Ultimate, the Sega Mega Drive Ultimate Collection, which came out in 2009. Some great games in that we've already covered: Golden Axe 1, 2 and 3, Streets of Rage, Vector Man, Alien Storm. Still a lots to do. Haven't touched any of the Sonic ones yet. If you've got a favourite on that disc, you own it, you want me to do that, comment on any of those videos as well. We can put them up the order, because we probably won't do all of them, but there's a particular one that you like, then let me know and we'll try and push that forward. Always try to be roughly about 2 weeks ahead of myself, so if I get ill, which could happen, there's still videos to put up, so there's not a gap, so I've got some time to catch it back up again. Bit of a balancing act, but we're doing okay so far. Some people said they wanted more Spectrum games on the channel, and ironically they take the quickest to do, the Spectrum games, because most of the time running the channel is spent on the rendering time, so the computer putting together the video in an MP4 file for uploads, and also the upload time itself. Spectrum files tend to be smaller, the way I do them anyway, and they upload quicker and they don't take so long to render. So we've upped the Spectrum games. Hopefully I want to bring you a few more homebrews. I've covered a few in the year of people on the channel, and started doing a few others people not subscribed to the channel. But if you're a subscriber and you've done a homebrew and it's half decent, then let me know where to download it from. More importantly, we might very well put that up as well. So Spectrum games we're trying to increase. It's increased a little bit, but I'll see if I can chuck a few more in every now and again. All these things are subject to time, because my time available now might not be my time available in 3 to 4 months' time. So it's good that when I have the time, I put as much in as pos, without actually exploding, of course, because you've got to have some R&R, because if you don't relax, then your creativity goes and your enthusiasm goes as well. There were some, now this is controversial, I've quietly stopped these. There were some rant videos I was putting up, which basically, we did about 8 or so, but a few have been deleted now because of the flack I was getting. Rant videos are really were me picking a subject, a bit tongue-in-cheek, coming from it from a certain point of view, to say how stupid a thing was or a news event was. Although most people are intelligent and take it for the manner it was intended, it did attract some people which I always knew were on the internet, which were a bit, well, thick basically, which some people put some right-wing comments on there, or left-wing comments, or whatever the wing is, and just trying to start an argument. There was one about Donald Trump's wall, where in particular I'd get some hateful messages where someone had obviously just read the title and not watched the video at all, or just watched the first few seconds of it, and then make a point which I'd already covered later in the video they hadn't seen, or having a go on it and being stupid. We stopped the rants. There will be vlogs, more traditional, a bit more relaxed like this, where we'll still talk about those things every now and again, but we'll come at it from a different angle, which will hopefully detract those hardcore nincompoops, to put it in the mildest way. But there's always people like that on the internet. I've learnt to ignore them. I've had a few trolls for quite some time, but you know, I don't pay them any time at all, really. You're always going to get it, especially as a channel grows. If you try and be as nice as possible, some people won't like people being as nice as possible, and there we go. So it's all a case of being a bit civil about it. Okay, so that's the rant videos. They won't continue, but other similar videos in a more relaxed way like this will be in its place. Always like to set myself a target by the end of the year in terms of subs, but you know, subs is good, but comments are much better. I see channels with sometimes tens of thousands of subs and only 3 comments, and I think that's pointless. You just, although subs are good to have, you're just creating a dead channel. So I'm not quite sure how that worked really. Maybe they was doing sub to sub, maybe it's legitimate, I don't know. Maybe they took a big break and people need time to come back. But it could be a variety of reasons. Lots legitimate, some not. Okay, so I was trying to get the subs quite modestly up to 1,200. In the year we passed the 1,000 mark, which thank you very much again for those that have stuck with me. We're on, I think we're over 1,100 at the moment, so I think we are going to do 1,002 by the end of the year, so that's picked up a little bit, so that is good. So I'll be very surprised if we don't do that, but you never know. YouTube always changing the parameters. They might do a clear out of dead channels and they might go, or other people might go, and so forth, because there's, as I say before, I'm really grateful that you watch these videos, because there's tens of thousands and more each day channels that are going up. They spam Twitter constantly trying to get people to watch, and it gets a bit hard to be actually noticed in the first place, no matter how big you are. Mind you, if you have over 100,000 and lots of comments, I think you're there. But once you're as low as me, say below 10,000 or even 20,000 or 30,000, it is difficult to be seen above the noise of it all. But so thank you very much again. All right, yeah, only a couple more points really. Now, there used to be a thing on this channel called the Random Wednesday Question, where Igor the Thunder Dwarf, who I met in very odd circumstances, would ask me a random question, sometimes about retro gaming, something about something else, and I'd answer it, and quite often it would go all wrong. I might put up some box sets of those, because there used to be 12 in a series. I think there was 6 series in all, so I might put a box set of them edited together so you can get an idea what they are. But for a long time now, I've been trying to think of a way I can get Igor back into the show, because he's quite a popular chap. Back at Christmas, we did some commentaries on some not Formula 1, some FIFA games, which went down quite well for the few people that watched those. If you want to do a search of FIFA 17 and see him in action, then you can do. But for a long time, I've been trying to see how I can get him back into play. Been looking at a radio show for a bit, but that's going to take quite a bit of working out and a bit of time. So that's still a work in process. If you want Igor back, comment below if you watched this far in the video, and we'll see. But that's going to take some thinking. Also said in the manifesto as a last point, we was going to do some Q&As. We might do those once every 6 or 7 months. So when we went over 1,000 subs, I did do a Q&A, and I've got so many questions there, really more than I was expecting to get. We had to do it in 2 parts, and really good questions in there if you want to check those out. So thanks again. And that's pretty much all the points covered there. Hopefully the channel will still be alive to do a 2018 manifesto in 2018. So thank you for your support. I can't say that enough. If you've got any comments about the channel or what you would like to see or any of those points I've raised, it's all nice and relaxed, and please put them below. I might encompass them, I might not, but I'll certainly read them and won't dismiss them out of hand. So take care of yourself. Videos going up every day, is quite active at the moment. And until next time, take good care of yourself and a very fond goodbye.
Goodbye.